So, listen to this. In 2008, as the golden age of Spanish football was on the horizon, with most Spaniards being world-class players and literally making defenders tremble, if you ask them, they would all tell you they were without their best player, a player who, at just the age of 17, had already broken the lots of records set by a certain Argentine, one being the youngest player to step foot in Barcelona, and in just his first season, had scored the highest number of goals by anyone in their La Liga debut. Just imagine the players who have played in La Liga, from Raúl to Ronaldo to Messi to even Maradona. None in their debut season would score more than our man, Bojan Krkic. Even before making his first team debut for Barcelona, the boy was already phenomenal. After joining Barcelona's academy in 1999, over the next 7 years, this kid would score close to 900 goals for Barcelona, breaking every record set by Messi, who had just graduated a few years prior. His pace, skill, and technical ability was so similar to Messi, it was almost criminal. They ran alike, dribbled alike, had the same type of hair, even looked alike. But when it came to finishing, Bojan was even better. At age 15, he was called up by the Spanish under-17 national team, and despite him being 2 years younger than the average player in his team, he would finish the tournament as the highest goal scorer, and he did it all with an injury on his knee. When he returned, his whole life had changed. He had gone from 0 to 100 instantly. In his own words, he couldn't even walk down the street anymore. He was to be the next big thing in football, and everyone knew it. The next year, he would be called up by the under-21 team, just after his 17th birthday. Back in Barcelona, Bojan would make his official debut for Barcelona's first team against Osasuna, and breaking Lionel Messi's record of the youngest Barcelona player to feature in a La Liga match. 3 days later, he made his Champions League debut against Lyon, coming on at the 88th minute for Messi, making him the youngest Barcelona player ever to feature in a Champions League game. And just a few days later, he scored his first goal for Barcelona, once again, beating Messi's record as the youngest player to score for Barcelona. He would end that season with 10 goals, breaking Raúl's record of most goals scored in a debut season. The world was at his feet. But then it all changed. On February 2008, Bojan was called up by the national team, meaning he would be the youngest player ever to feature for the national team. Spain were about to enter their most dominant era since their formation. Calling him up meant his entire country was expecting this 17-year-old to lead their golden generation, with the expectation and hype around him. Our man cracked. His panic levels rose unbelievably. He couldn't walk. He found breathing difficult, and he was diagnosed with his first panic attack. But for fear of being misunderstood, the Spanish Federation said he didn't play the game because he was tired. That summer, the 2008 Euros came along, and once again, Bojan was called up. But you see, by 2008, mental health was not a topic that was being discussed. So once the call-up came, Bojan's anxiety once again shot through the roof. He later said in a 2018 interview that he was feeling headaches for 24 hours stretch accompanied with immense dizziness, but for fear of being laughed at and being called weak. Once again, Bojan said he was tired and just wanted to focus on recovery and spending time surrounded by family. The Spanish media went nuts. They labeled him a lazy player who didn't care about his country and just wanted to be paid for doing nothing. Even when walking down the road, he was still bombarded with insults and angry fans who seemed out to molest and harass him. After the tournament, he returned to Barcelona, and a new coach was in. In Barcelona's forward position, they also had Samuel Eto'o, Thierry Henry, Lionel Messi, and the rest. So breaking into the first team was an unbelievable mountain. Despite still putting up incredible numbers, even being part of that legendary Barcelona team that won 2 Champions League trophies in 3 years, our man was never really involved. Desperate to leave Barcelona and Messi's shadow, he moved to Roma. But shortly after arriving, an analysis was done into Messi's family roots, and turns out that Bojan and Messi were fourth cousins. So even in his new club, with Messi in his peak breaking records and scoring goals like never seen everyone, Bojan's anxiety returned, with everyone expecting him to score 5 goals in every game. Bojan once again cracked. Needless to say, his time in Roma was below standard. He later moved to AC Milan and then to Stoke City, then to the MLS, and after some time in Japan with former teammate Iniesta, he retired. Thank you for watching.